Good evening, students, alumni, friends, and faculty of the Johns Hopkins Carey Business School. My name is Phil Fan, Professor and Executive Vice Dean. In a few moments, I will introduce Dean Yash Gupta, who will preside over these exercises. I would like to begin by thanking our student marshal, Pamela Liu, for leading our graduates into the ceremony. As is customary in this great hall, we ask guests to please silence their cell phones. Not so customary is to inform our guests with young children that this ceremony is being broadcast live in the lobby, should the need arise to go there. A children's video will also be playing. I now have the honor to present Dr. Yash Gupta, Dean of the Johns Hopkins Carey Business School. Dean Gupta.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 2011 graduation ceremony of the Johns Hopkins Carey Business School. I'm honored to welcome all of you, graduates, trustees, members of the Board of Overseers, the Corporate Advisory Board members, and the Dean's Alumni Advisory Board, special guests, friends, and family members. I'd like especially welcome our founder, William Polk Carey, who is with us this evening. Bill? In addition, it is a great honor to have our speaker, Dr. Robert Langer, here to share his wisdom. Finally, I'm privileged to have two of our distinguished alumni, Karen Peets and Shirley Yang, who will be recognized for their achievements since leaving Carey Business School. To the members of the Johns Hopkins Carey Business School class of 2011. First things first, let me begin by extending my congratulations on a job very well done. I know how hard you have worked to reach this wonderful milestone in your lives. And for that, you have my deepest admiration, respect, and gratitude. The level of work you have achieved, the depth of dedication you have shown, the kind of people you are truly served to enhance the reputation of a great school and our great university. Everyone here, your family, friends, teachers, and all of us at Carey, we share in the pride and the happiness that you feel on this momentous day. I know how thrilled you are to be receiving a degree today. But let's not forget your parents and other family members and friends who are also getting a degree of relief. They have worked and sacrificed a lot to help you get where you are today, and as your teachers and advisors at Carey School. So I'd like to invite the graduates to stand up and give a round of applause to all those people who helped you in this marvelous achievement. Now, graduates, as you leave this hall today with diplomas in hand, you have the encouraging benefit of economic climate that's brighter than the one encountered by the class of 2009, or even by the last classes every man. But less encouraging is that even as the economic thaw continues and the global marketplace expands, real economic growth for all the people in the world is hindered by a particular menace that has troubled humanity for millennia. I'm speaking of war. According to the public policy organization globalsecurity.org, some 30 nations are currently involved in approximately 40 armed conflicts. The majority of these are civil wars, and the majority of the victims are civilians. The continent most afflicted by this violence is Africa. It's hardly a coincidence that the continent with the greatest number of armed conflicts, especially internal conflicts that pit rebel groups against sitting governments, is the continent that's the world's poorest and least developed. Africa's plight underscores the unavoidable, time-proven fact that little as but poverty and discontent can grow in lands where commerce has never taken root. As history teaches us, those societies that provide broad economic opportunities tend to be more stable, prosperous, and just. Montesquieu, the French political philosopher of the Enlightenment, made this very point more than 2 centuries ago when he said, "The natural effect of commerce is to lead to peace." He even described this effect as being one of gentleness and smoothness. A different kind of philosopher, we can agree or disagree, publisher Steve Forbes, spoke at the Carey Business School last year and made a similar assertion. Capitalism, Forbes said, has been the best poverty fighter in human history, the best system that allows for innovation and invention and creativity. Indeed, research published for a few years ago in the Journal of Organization Behavior equates satisfaction and empowerment in the workplace with open, stable societies. This research, based on data taken in 65 countries over a 20-year period, shows that the good working conditions can lead to progress in society, even in the most troubled areas. Workers who feel empowered in stable workplaces tend to develop the skill and the confidence to tackle problems within their communities. The lesson for a business school and for its students and graduates is that the success of business enterprises and the success of societies are very closely linked. Business success is impossible in a failed society, and societal stability is impossible without the foundation of a thriving economic system. This is why we speak so often at Carey Business School about business with humanity in mind, about using the tools of business to do well financially while doing good for society. Today's smart business person understands that we are all connected and that we better start thinking and taking care of each other and our world. Otherwise, we won't have much of a world to do business in. War, unfortunately, is likely to remain a part of human experience to one degree or another. But I'm firm in the conviction that the social-minded business people and entrepreneurs, those who fully grasp that crucial link between business success and a social success, can bring greater prosperity and stability to all corners of the world. I know many of you share the conviction, and I look forward to watch you turn it into reality in the years to come. Thank you very much, and again, my warmest congratulations to the class of 2011. Before I have the pleasure of introducing Provost Lloyd Minor, I'd like to spend a few moments on a special personal matter. As you probably know, I will be stepping down as the Dean of Carey Business School at the end of June to become the Chief Executive Officer of an international telecommunication company. It has truly been a privilege to serve as the inaugural Dean of this wonderful institution for the past 3.5 years. The experience of launching a new business school, especially in the midst of historic recession, has presented a few challenges to all of us, but I'm immensely proud of the many successes achieved in a short period by the administrators, faculty, students, and staff here at Carey. Together, we have created a great business school, one with an incredible future, and I feel so honored to have been the dean and with you on this journey. It is a bittersweet moment for me. I'm sad to be leaving the Carey community, but at the same time, I'm excited about this new adventure in my life. I'm excited about this adventure, and I want to express publicly my thanks to Johns Hopkins University for giving me the opportunity to serve as an inaugural dean, and my thanks to everyone at Carey for allowing me to be part of your lives. Thank you. It is now my great honor and privilege to welcome Dr. Lloyd Minor to the podium. Dr. Minor is the Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs at Johns Hopkins University. A Johns Hopkins faculty member since 1993, Dr. Minor is a University Distinguished Service Professor of Laryngology and Otology and has joint appointments in the Department of Biomedical Engineering and Neuroscience. He has served as the Director of the Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery in the University School of Medicine from 2003 until September 1, 2009, when he took office as the university's Chief Academic Officer. Provost Minor, please.
Dean Gupta, distinguished members of the Carey Business School faculty, and especially family, friends, and graduates of the Carey Business School, it's a privilege and great pleasure to bring you greetings on behalf of the Johns Hopkins University. The Carey Business School was established in 2007, building on a rich tradition of business education at Johns Hopkins. Since then, the school has accomplished so much, becoming a vital part of the university community. None of this would have been possible without the leadership and the vision of the school's inaugural dean. Thank you, Dean Gupta, for your tireless advocacy of the school and for showing us the power of business to transform the world. It is an exciting time for the Carey Business School, and the university looks forward to the school's continued transformation and growth. On a personal note, I'm delighted that a member of my senior staff is among today's graduates. Jessica Best, you have helped to shape the ideas of our office, provide incisive analysis and informative analysis, and keep my words on target. Thank you and congratulations. And congratulations to all of the graduates for your hard work and your accomplishments. The late nights and long weekends have brought you here today. One day soon you will look back and wonder how you had the time to earn a degree while juggling the demands of career and family. But now, at the end of this long journey, it's time to rest and to remember where you began and to reflect on how far you've come. You've mastered the SWOT analysis, you know how to evaluate ROI, but more than that, you've learned how to think. To critically think, to lead change, to uncover hidden possibilities, and to handle complexity and uncertainty. Studying under the shadow of an economic crisis, you understand the social responsibilities of business and the limits of markets and models. But there is something even more important. As Carey graduates, you understand the importance of collaboration and creativity, of working together to come up with innovative solutions. Years from now, you may have forgotten the 4 Ps of marketing or how to calculate the weighted average cost of capital, but you'll still rely upon your ability to build consensus and to exercise creativity in the face of unstructured problems, ambiguous data, confusing perspectives, and a rapidly changing environment. You're graduating just in time, for our world has never been in greater need of creative collaborators such as you. The challenges in the world today are daunting. The global water crisis, the environment and sustainability, the promise of individualized health, and the struggles of an urbanizing world. The needs are great, but imagine the possibilities. You, our business leaders, will play a key role in addressing these challenges. The true measure of your success will not be based on market share or quarterly earnings, but on your ability to envision a different way and to build and lead teams that will turn good intentions into actions. Today marks a great celebration of your accomplishments, to be sure, but also of the broader Johns Hopkins community. I hope you will always be proud to call yourself an alumna or an alumnus of the Carey Business School of the Johns Hopkins University, as we will always be proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Provost Minor. Now, I would like to introduce Dr. Rafid Fadol, the class of 2011 student speaker. Rafid received both his bachelor's degree and his MD from George Washington University before coming to Carey Business School to earn his MBA in Medical Services Management. With articles already published in a variety of publications, including the New England Journal of Medicine, he recently accepted a position at the Cleveland Clinic Foundation in pulmonary and critical care medicine. Please welcome the 2011 student speaker, Rafid Fadol.
Good evening and welcome. Distinguished guests, learned professors, close friends and family, and most importantly, the esteemed class of 2011. I'm privileged to be speaking in front of a group that has already accomplished so much, but pales in comparison to the mark they are yet to leave on the world. I come to you today as a fellow graduate, and if you'll indulge me, I'd like to share some thoughts on what has guided us here and what will guide us forward: passion and obligation. But first, after a very long road, it's imperative to give you the congratulations you deserve. Your achievements are no small feat. Please. You all arrived here because in you lies an undeterrable force: passion. From a logistical standpoint, you wouldn't have sat through hours upon hours of class just to go home and do hours upon hours of work had you not been motivated by this burning within. This inner drive to do something more, to contribute in a more meaningful way, it's likely what brought you to business school in the first place, and in particular, Johns Hopkins. And make no mistake, though it makes a nice slogan, where business is taught with humanity in mind, it also serves to self-select a population of those who are driven by more than financial gain, supporting those who seek to leave an indelible mark, not just on the way we do business, but on the way we deal with each other on a human level. Recently, I was told the story of the brilliant Sir Christopher Wren, who, among other things, designed St. Paul's Cathedral in London. One day, he visited the structure before it was quite complete, posing as a stranger, and he asked a worker what he was doing, and he responded, and I'll spare you my terrible British accent, earning an honest day's wage. He asked another worker the same question, and nailing some boards in until quitting time was his answer in a very uninspired tone. Wren was disheartened, but he asked one more worker, who responded to him, "I'm helping bring the vision of the world's most beautiful structure to life." This man got it. This man had passion. The passion you possess is at the spark of every great idea. It's the very same passion that can be heard in the ring of an iPhone or Vivaldi's Four Seasons. It's seen in the grandeur of skyscrapers and the brilliance of scientific formulas. It's the very same passion that resonates through the innovations that inspire hope, whether it's a life-saving medicine or a groundbreaking device. And as we sit here now, I'm in awe of the endless possibilities of how your passion will manifest. But in physics, we learned that just as important as an object's force and velocity is its direction. And in that note, I'd like to speak on the principle that will guide us forward, obligation. But first, let me give you a bit of background about me. Outside of Carey, I'm a practicing physician. And in various corners of the world, I've seen societies forgotten in the worst of circumstances. In Chekhov's Gooseberries, he said that behind us all, there ought to be a little man tapping away gently with a hammer to remind us of those who are suffering quietly. But we need not go a single mile from where we sit so comfortably today to see these people in the most dire of straits. Armed with our training and education, it is with the less fortunate in mind when we answer the call. It is them to whom we are obliged when we create, when we innovate, when we redefine a better way of doing business. By pursuing our education, specifically at an institution whose mantra is centered on humanity, we have tacitly accepted the call to duty to raise the bar for our global community. And in so doing, we fulfill the obligation we have to ourselves to instill meaning and purpose, and thus enriching our own lives. It is these Pareto optimal opportunities that will be the sustainable ones in the long run. Harnessing your drive while remaining mindful of your obligation to your community and yourselves will set you worlds apart from your contemporaries. Passion is the wind that fills your sails, and your sense of obligation will steer your rudder. Your mark on the world may be an innovative way of distributing credit, like the Nobel Prize-winning idea of microfinance. It may be a novel approach to the use and distribution of natural resources. It may simply be a more ethical way of doing business, shining as a beacon on a hill in a time when corporate scandals are commonplace. But whatever your mark is, years from now, when your names are echoing through the highest halls of business, everyone in this room can take pride in knowing that they were among the earliest to return a sense of responsibility and stewardship back to business. Again, I'm humbled to stand before you. Thank you for your time. Congratulations once more.
Thank you, Rafid. Now, graduates, I have the great pleasure to introduce the president of the Johns Hopkins University Alumni Association, Ray Snow, who will welcome you to your new role as Carey alumni. Ray?
Thank you, Dean Gupta, and on behalf of all 164,000 alumni of all 9 schools of the Johns Hopkins University, hearty congratulations on your many significant accomplishments as the first dean of the Carey Business School, and all our very best wishes for success in your future endeavors. My name is Ray Snow, and I am president of the Johns Hopkins Alumni Association and a proud 1970 graduate of the School of Arts and Sciences with a degree in business. I'm delighted to be here this evening to congratulate you on your achievements and on the journey which brought you to this important day. I welcome you to the Hopkins family of alumni, which is an accomplished and diverse group of individuals who represent all industries, walks of life throughout the country, the world, occasionally in space, and occasionally under the sea. I firmly believe that we as Hopkins graduates are held to a higher standard. Indeed, we hold ourselves to a higher standard. Your degree and your connection to Hopkins allow you to take advantage of a powerful network of the cultural, social, and networking events designed to broaden and sustain the relationships among alumni and the university. I've been honored to serve as a volunteer for the university for many years in a multitude of different roles, both here in Maryland and in South Florida, and it's been a tremendous experience. I hope you will join me and the thousands of other alumni who use these opportunities to enrich their lives both personally and professionally. So I encourage you to keep in touch with one another, which I know you'll do, the Carey Business School and the university, and encourage your involvement and feedback to be engaged by attending or planning an event, talking to your colleagues, friends, and prospective students about your experience, but mainly remaining in touch with your professors and classmates. And since I'm a business guy, I can offer you just a brief commercial message. Alumni alumni.jhu.edu and a new connect.jhu.edu. Both are very easy to remember. And on behalf of both the Alumni Association and the Board of Trustees, I offer my sincerest congratulations to each and every one of you and wish you the very best. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Snow. Now I have the privilege of acknowledging a number of students who have distinguished themselves during their academic career at the Johns Hopkins Carey Business School. The Edward J. Stegman CPA Memorial Award is presented to graduate students who have completed their degree and maintained a 4.0 graduate grade point average throughout their program. Will the recipients of this award please stand? Congratulations. Next, I'd like to congratulate those baccalaureate recipients graduating with honors. Will those students please stand, as well as the recipients of the undergraduate awards, the Dean's Award for Sustained Excellence, Delta Sigma Pi Scholarship Key, and the Wall Street Journal Student Achievement Award. Please stand. Congratulations. Also this evening, I'd like to congratulate the members of Delta Sigma Pi Honor Society. Will the graduating members please rise? Congratulations. Once again, congratulations to all of you on your remarkable achievements. Tonight, I have the pleasure of presenting Distinguished Alumni Awards to two alumni of the Johns Hopkins Carey Business School. The Distinguished Alumnus Award honors alumni who have typified the Johns Hopkins tradition of excellence and brought credit to the university by their personal accomplishments, professional achievements, and humanitarian service. Now I would like to invite Karen Peets to join me at the podium. Karen Peets is Vice Chairman and Senior Executive Vice President of BNY Mellon, where she is responsible for the financial markets and treasury services group. The businesses that make up this group represent over a third of the company's revenue. Ms. Peets is a member of BNY Mellon's Executive Committee, the organization's most senior management body, which oversees its day-to-day operations. She is the chairperson of the company's Women's Initiative Network and also serves on the Diversity Council. As a member of the Carey Business School's Corporate Advisory Board, she has actively engaged with the school through financial support, internship opportunities for the school students, and by serving as a host to the board when meeting in New York City. Ms. Peets is a chairperson of the United Way of New York City's board and a member of the Executive Committee and the board of Brooklyn Academy of Music. Ms. Peets also serves on Penn State University's Presidential Leadership Academic Advisory Board, the Financial Services Roundtable, and the Board of Directors of the Council of the Americas. Ms. Peets received a bachelor's degree from Pennsylvania State University. The Johns Hopkins Carey Business School is extremely proud of Ms. Peets' accomplishments. She is an extraordinary example of a successful woman who is committed to helping other women and young people succeed. We're deeply proud of your accomplishments, Karen, and I'm honored to present you with a Distinguished Alumni Award. Now, I'd like to invite Dr. Shirley Yang to receive the Distinguished Alumni Award from the Johns Hopkins University Carey Business School, perhaps Johns Hopkins University Alumni Association. Shirley, please join them. Dr. Yang, born in Taiwan, was an exceptional young student who earned a place to study medicine at the University of Pennsylvania. However, because of family financial considerations, Dr. Yang instead attended and graduated with distinction from the school closer to home, the National Taiwan University School of Medicine. Dr. Yang came to the United States and joined Hopkins as a resident in the Department of Radiology, working closely with Dr. Henry Wagner in nuclear medicine. While a resident, she became concerned about the lack of adequate housing for foreign students. As a result, along with her brother, Andrew Yang, a former radiology fellow at Johns Hopkins University, they embarked on a large and multifaceted renovation of the home that they had shared during their training at Hopkins. Then they donated this property to the School of Medicine to use as housing for the future residents. While a senior partner in full-time private radiology practice and a single parent, she raised 2 children who are both graduates of the Krieger School of Arts and Sciences. As her children began their undergraduate careers, Dr. Yang began the Graduate Certificate Business of Health program and then continued her educational pursuits, earning her MBA. From her first gift, Dr. Yang has continued to support the school and the university financially, developed postgraduate educational opportunity for students, and currently serves as a member of the Johns Hopkins University Board of Trustees. It is my great honor and privilege, Shirley, to recognize your dedication to Johns Hopkins and the Carey Business School for presenting you with the Distinguished Alumni Award. Ladies and gentlemen, our speaker this evening is one of the most widely regarded researchers in the biotechnology field. In fact, Forbes magazine cited him as one of the 25 most important individuals in biotechnology. Dr. Robert Langer is Robert H. Koch Institute Professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. A prolific researcher, he has written over 1,100 peer-reviewed articles and has approximately 760 issued and pending patents. He's one of the most cited and honored engineers in history. Dr. Langer is a recipient of the 2006 National Medal of Science and the 2002 Charles Stark Draper Prize. In addition, he won the 2008 Millennium Prize, the world's largest technology prize. Last month, President Obama announced his intent to appoint Dr. Langer to the President's Committee on the National Medal of Science. In fact, we could be here for a long time if I continued to name all of the prestigious awards that Dr. Langer has received throughout his distinguished career. Dr. Langer also has had over 200 of his patents licensed or sub-licensed over the years and has formed numerous startup companies based on the technologies he has discovered. It is a great honor and a privilege for me to welcome to the stage the 2011 Carey Business School graduation speaker, Dr. Robert S. Langer.
Thank you very much. First, I want to congratulate all of you. Graduating from a school as fine as Johns Hopkins is a really tremendous achievement, and you and your families deserve to be very, very proud. And I'm really honored to speak to you today. You know, I've given a number of commencement addresses, but never to a business school. And as I started to think about what further to say to you, I was thinking about what messages that I might leave. And I thought I'd try to emphasize two messages. First, as you graduate and go forth in the world, to try to dream big dreams, dreams that you think can change the world and make it a much better place. And second, if things start to look bad with respect to trying to fill those dreams, no matter how bad they look, don't give up. Don't give up on those dreams. And to that end, I thought I would just share with you some of my personal experiences in science and in business to try to illustrate those points. So let me start out when I was where a lot of you are in graduate school. My background is chemical engineering. And when I got done with my degree in chemical engineering in the 1970s, I didn't know what I wanted to do career-wise. In the 1970s, the parents in the audience might remember that at that time, just like a couple of years ago, there was this gas shortage. But if you lived in Boston, where I lived, not only did you see the prices of gas go way, way up, but you had to wait in line with your car for over 2 hours to get that gas. But the consequence of that is that if you were a chemical engineer, you got a lot of job offers. And pretty much every one of my classmates in the 1970s went to an oil company. All those companies had many, many openings, and that's where all the high-paying jobs were. And actually, even for myself, I got over 20 different job offers from oil companies. 4 actually from Exxon alone. I also got offers from Shell and Chevron. I think the only oil company that didn't give me a job was British Petroleum. And one of those interviews made quite an impression on me. I went to this interview at Exxon in Baton Rouge, and one of the engineers there said to me that if I could just increase the yield of a particular petrochemical by 0.01%, he said that would be wonderful, that would be worth billions of dollars. But I remember thinking to myself as I flew home to Boston that night that I really didn't want to do that. It just seemed to me that increasing the yield of a petrochemical by such a small amount, no matter how much it was worth, wasn't that exciting, wasn't a dream. So what did I want to do? Well, I had this dream of trying to use my background in science to improve people's lives. I'd spent a lot of time as a graduate student starting a school for poor high school kids and developing new chemistry curriculum. And one day I saw an ad in the newspaper for an assistant professor to do just that at the City College of New York. And so I wrote them a letter, but they didn't write me back. But I really liked that idea, so I found all the ads I could find for an assistant professor to do that, to develop chemistry curriculum. I found about 40 different ads. I wrote to all 40 universities, and actually none of them wrote me back. So that wasn't going so well. So I started thinking of other ways I could help people, and one of the things that I thought about was health-related research. So I wrote to a lot of hospitals and medical schools, and they didn't write back either. But one day, one of the people in my lab said to me that I should write to a man named Dr. Judah Folkman at Harvard. The person said to me that sometimes Dr. Folkman hired unusual people. So I took what at that time seemed like to all engineers a huge risk, and I started doing postdoctoral work at a hospital. It might seem more common today, but at that time, no chemical engineer had ever done anything like that, had done postgraduate work in a surgery lab. And so I started working on 2 projects. The first one was to try to find the first substance that could stop cancer blood vessels from growing, and thus hopefully stop cancer. And the second, which was to help that project, was to develop new kinds of plastics that could slowly release these and other kinds of substances for a really long time in the body. And before I had worked on this project, no one had been able to do that. And in fact, scientists thought it was impossible to release these really large molecules. I think really the only thing that I had going for me is that I hadn't read the literature that said it was impossible. So I spent about 2 years working on this problem, and I actually found over 200 different ways to get it to not work. But finally, I discovered that I could modify certain types of plastics and use them to slowly release just about anything. And we used these to find these substances that could help stop blood vessels and stop cancer. And later on, we made discoveries in nanotechnology, as well as how to create new tissues in the body. That's an area called regenerative medicine, and in other areas as well. But to get these inventions and other inventions to the point where they could help patients was a really difficult problem as a university professor, because it would take a great deal of money and a great deal of people to do this. So one of the things that I began doing was writing a lot of patents on this work. And, you know, patents are actually, to me, really such an important thing in American and world business. There's actually was an interview with a United States politician in the 1800s. Someone asked him, what were the 3 most important things in history? And he said that it was the founding of America, the printing press, and the patent system. It might be a little self-serving, but he thought that all those things were very important. And that man was Abraham Lincoln. For our patents, what we did, as was mentioned, we actually licensed them to over 200 companies. And I even started a number of these companies, maybe 24, with different students of mine. And when I started these companies, many professors at MIT and elsewhere looked down upon this. They said starting companies when you're a professor isn't a very good thing to do. But today, these companies have made all kinds of products that treat patients with cancer, heart disease, and many other medical conditions. These companies have also created thousands and thousands of jobs across the country and the world. I thought I'd just give you 2 examples. In the first example, I'd like to expand on what I mentioned earlier, where we developed the first plastics that could slowly release large molecules. One of the biggest challenges in this was getting a patent. So we filed a patent in 1976, but the patent office turned us down. In fact, they turned us down 5 different times between 1976 and 1981. And my patent lawyer said, we should just give up. But I've never given up easily, and I hope you don't give up easily either. And I started to think about new ways that we could convince the examiner to get this patent allowed. Now, the examiner kept saying that what we had done was obvious. But I knew that wasn't true, since, as I mentioned, when we started this work, all these scientists around the country told me it was impossible. So what I did now around 1982, 6 years after we filed it, is I looked at the literature, all kinds of literature, and I discovered that there was a paper published by 5 very famous chemists in 1979 that actually referred to our work. And they said that Dr. Folkman and I had reported some surprising results. They actually used those very words, surprising results, that clearly demonstrated the opposite of what scientists thought before. So I showed that to my lawyer, who said to me, well, Bob, that's very interesting, and I want to fly down to Washington and show it to the patent examiner. And so he did, and he showed it to the patent examiner, and the patent examiner saw it, and he said, oh, that's very interesting also. He said, I'll tell you what, I will allow this patent if Dr. Langer can get affidavits from these 5 chemists showing that they really wrote this. It's actually a true story. So I wrote them, and they all wrote these affidavits, and we got saying that they really wrote it, and we got a very broad patent. Then what we did is we licensed it to 2 large companies, one in animal health and studies like to deliver growth hormone to cows and pigs, and another in human health for insulin delivery and things like that. And both of these companies gave us grant money, and they promised to do experiments to develop our invention. And I was very, very excited about that. But what happened was that these companies were very large, and they do maybe 1 or 2 experiments a year. And if they didn't work right, they just gave up. So that didn't go anywhere, and I was very sad. But a few years later, one of my MIT colleagues, Alex Klebanoff, said, Bob, why don't we start a company ourselves? So I was able to get these patents back, and we started a little company with 4 of my students called Enzotech, which later merged to become Alkermes. And this company has now developed drug delivery systems for all kinds of drugs. One of them has been used to treat over 4 million patients for treating schizophrenia. Others are used for treating alcoholism, narcotic addiction, and many other diseases. The company has 25 products in the market, and it was, really a tremendous source of pride for me to see that happen. The second example that I wanted to give you was an idea I had to invent a new kind of plastic. And here I also worked with Dr. Henry Brem, now Chief of Neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins, and actually today's commencement speaker at Johns Hopkins Medical School. And Henry and I thought that maybe we could use this new plastic to treat patients with brain cancer by delivering drugs to the brain's, to the tumor in the brain. But again, whenever you have an idea like this, you have to raise a lot of money. So Henry and I would write grants on this to the National Institutes of Health. Now, for those of you not familiar with what happens with these grants, is they have these panels at the NIH called study sections composed of professors at other universities, not Johns Hopkins or MIT, and they would review what we did. And they reviewed them very, very negatively. In our very first grant in 1981, the reviewer said we'd never be able to make these polymers. But I had a graduate student named Howie Rosen, and he actually synthesized these plastics for his graduate thesis. Later on, he would actually become president of the Alza Corporation, a $12 billion company, incredibly successful company. After he did that, we sent the grant back for another review, and the scientist who reviewed it said the grant should still not be funded because these polymers will cause problems. They'll react with whatever drug you put in. But with the help of another couple postdocs, Cam Leung, who was once a professor here at Johns Hopkins and now the James Duke professor at Duke University, and Bob Linhart, who's a graduate actually of Johns Hopkins in chemistry and now a Constellation professor at RPI, they solved all these problems. So we sent the grant back again for another review. And they said, well, it still won't work because these polymers are fragile. They'll break in the body. But I had two other postdocs in the laboratory, two other scientists, Avi Dome, who later became chair of medicinal chemistry at Hebrew University, and Edith Mathiowicz, who's now a full professor at Brown University. And they solved that problem. So we sent the grant back again. And again, the reviewers said it should not be funded. They said nobody could take new plastics and put them in animals, much less people, because they would be toxic. But I had another graduate student, Cato Lorenzen. He's now Dean of Medicine at the University of Connecticut, and he showed these polymers were very safe. Anyhow, these kinds of negative reviews kept going on for a long time. But in 1996, the FDA approved this treatment. The first time in more than 20 years, the FDA approved a new treatment for brain cancer, and the first time they ever approved the concept of polymer-based local chemotherapy. You can probably tell from the way I'm speaking that I'm very proud of how well all the graduate students and postdocs at Johns Hopkins working with Henry and at MIT working with me have done. They became heads of major corporations, very successful professors at top universities around the world. The reviewers at the other universities, they haven't done so well. I should add that we filed a number of patents on this research, and a local company, Guilford Pharmaceuticals, started by Johns Hopkins professor Saul Snyder, was the initial licensee. 15 years after their approval in 1996, these brain cancer wafers are still used for treating brain cancer, and they've provided an entirely new paradigm in the drug delivery field, leading to drug-eluting stents and many other medical innovations. And there are other examples, too, where we've created products and companies from our research. There have been many challenges, but today there are some 50 products in use or in clinical trials and over 24 companies that have started from our work. To me, the combination of science and business has changed America and changed the world, and I feel honored to be a part of it. If I had any advice, any words of wisdom for the graduates in the audience, it would be to dream big dreams about how you can do things to help people and to improve the world, to make it a better place. But there may be many times when you try to do something, when you try to develop a new product, try to create a new company, whatever your dream is, that all kinds of people will step up and tell you that your dream is impossible, that it will never work. But I think that's very rarely true. I think if you really believe in yourself, if you're persistent and work hard, there's very, very little that's truly impossible. I wish you all the very best in your futures, and I want to congratulate you again very much. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dr. Langer, for that very, very inspiring speech. And I hope that we all feel challenged to keep going, to never give up. The graduates who will be awarded the degree of Master of Business Administration will now be presented with their diplomas. Dr. Pamela Cranston, please come to the podium to announce the graduates.
Will the graduates who will be awarded the degree Master of Business Administration please come forward to receive your diplomas as your names are called? Owais Abdul Ghani. Hassan Abu Gaida. Shanice Lachey Alberts. Congratulations. Janelle Alexander. Lay Robert Allen II. Eric Almley. Bavini Amin. Brian D. Amuzu. Murtaza Barami. Mirza Gufran Bieg. Michael Bailey. Patrick Charles Ball. Kevin Banks. Edward Bessman. Jessica Walker Best. Ravi Biala. Mispa Baikoi. Stephen Scott Brooks. Congratulations. Patricia A. Brown. Jerome Lloyd Buller. Tanya Yvonne Coble. Valerie Seplo Jeffrey. Elizabeth Daly. Katayun Daneshavar. Paul Danielli. Christopher DeMarco. Kelly Devlin. Lee Diamond. Rajiv Dua. James William Dunn, Jr. Satish Gorgonath. Sarah Shrek Dye. Angeline Edwards. Hisham Nabil Faour. Annette L. Fisher. Michael Fleszar. Christina Louise Fletcher. Rajesh Francis. Karen Juliana Garrido. Hold on just a second. Okay. Catherine M. Gavin. Mandana Godard. Richard A. Goisevich. Jacqueline T. Harris. Stephanie D. Henson. Rafid Fadul. Christopher Hockley. Roderick Wayne Hodges. Amber Hoffman. Vanessa Quinn New Holden. Dong Soo Hong. Brian Wesley House. Pin Chu Hu. Leonard Allen Ignatowski. Bernice Inosan. Parasuranam Iyer. Payam Fard. Michelle Jolly. Reva Jones. Sharat Kashireddy. William Kaiser. Asif Khan. Ivana Kitts. Jay Krishnappa. Irvin Lainez. Colin Lawson. Brian George Lee. Yamina Ayin Leggett Wells. Andrew Layton. Robert Clifford Linton II. Lynette Lopez. Gretchen Losey. Michael Lucero. Raghavendra Charan Makram. Renuka Manivanan. Mandan Mapuskar. Michael Bassam Marsuk. Matthew Kyle Massey. Trevor McKnight. John McMurray. Christopher McQueen. Dharmesh Mehta. Daniel McKibib. Catherine McKinsey Mitchell. William George Morgan. Edward Joseph Mullen. Victoire Ngo Bekoy. Han Nguyen. Gayanga Opatha. John Wilson Kidi Osiri. Daria Outlaw. Ki Yong Pak. Sunil Bhaskar Patil. Mercy Prabhudas. Irina Postovit. Keith Quill. Mahen Dharanath Rangareddy. Hwaja Shu. Roger Young. Jen Huang. Che Guevara Jinti. Lai Yan Lee. Dwayne Kamal Brown. David Omorogbe. Leah Michelle Roberts. Shannon Ross. Sanjay Kumar Sahu. Tinun Saif. Anim Ado Sampong. Joseph Michael Sarash. Leonardo Saweda. Victoria Schmidt. William Schoenfeld. Richard David Schulich. Matthew Schwieger. David Michael Scoville. Laura Ann Seiler. Jonathan David Schapp. Malika Singh. Norma Smalls. Tamika Stamps Highsmith. Stephen Willard Stroshine. Nuwan Suraya Goda. Brad Stephen Sutton. Sonia Todd Mann. Clara Vega. Amit Vengerleiker. Kothvasal Venkatashari. Shipa Shiri Vinod Kumar. Abhijit Val Vikar. Catherine Warner. Darrell Washington. Rylan Oliver Whitaker. Linda Marie White. Deborah Williams. Lindsay Wolf. Pui Man Wong. Angela Wood. Sean Wood. Benetta Lene Wright. Fukari Yim Tatu. On behalf of the school and of the university, I would like to congratulate the most recent group of Master of Business Administration graduates. Please join me in congratulating them. Saving the best for last, of course. Wen Yi Yu. Just teasing. And now, will the Master of Science, Master of Business Administration graduates please come forward to receive your diplomas? Marilena Ursula Bello. Latarsha Bryant. Jennifer Kate Kempany. Arzu Chand. Mahmoud Douale. Ben Edson. Emil Stefanov Ivanov. Asad Kawaja. Kofi Loku. Andrea Bernstein Louth. Naji May. Christopher Mercer. Lee Coddington Mitchum. Rajesh Nayak. Cyril Obat. Louis Dorsey Paxton. Now please join me in congratulating the most recent group of dual Master of Science, Master of Business Administration graduates.
Will the graduates who will be awarded the degree of Master of Science come forward to receive your diploma? Gafran Abbas. Mohit Agarwal. Angelique Ellis Agutter. Nauman Ahmed. Robin M. Akinwale. Gidon Albert. Javier Alde. Danielle Alexander. Terrence Scott Allen. Ala Abdullah Al-Musbahi. Manal Amin. Nafiz A. Amin. Yuchun An. Maxime Anfilofiev. Claudia Maria Armstrong. Curtis Brandon Arnold. Nigel N. Assam. Faiza Baluk. Prajani Bastakoti. Heather Lynn Bauer. David Robert Beabout. J. R. Balodia. Joanna Bizub. Emily Andrea Bonanno. Portia Levita Borden. Ryan D. Burrows. Andrew Ramses Bushra. Carl Michael Baldoza Cabañas. Yunsik Chang. Rui Yuan Chang. Wei Lun Chang. Yi Ding Chen. Yun Lu Chen. Chi Wen Chung. Wen Ti Chung. Matthew Chin. Heng Teng Chui. Tzu Ying Chuang. Aaron E. Clemens. Elaine Constable. Thomas McDonough Cullen. Lee G. Devantier. Mariam Diawara. Sugandan Dina Rakan. Ning Ding. Gina R. Eddy. Alexander W. Ehrlich. Emmanuel P. Evangelista. Shegun Michael Famuyide. Oreste Joseph Farina. G. Fenn. John D. Fitzpatrick. Alex B. Fox. John Frizera. Julia Taylor Golby. Anthony Gomez. J. Scott Gordon. Keith Floyd Grayson. Tiffany Grayson. Mark Grutkowski. Salman Ahmed Hafiz. Ormsub Jumkumson Harrington. Jiang Ti Huang. Yu Wei Xiao. Wen Xuan Xie. Kai-Yun Shi. Jeffrey M. Huber. Patrick Darrell Hudson. Nabil Idris. Beneath Iyengar. Aditi Jain. Dale Kang. Alireza Katibi. Isit Kamanwangawit. Hillary Jennifer Kenner. Stephen S. Kovanan. Daniel Kim. Jung Jung Kim. Stephen Andrew Clapper. Lael Kurdi. Edward T. Larkin. Ji Ting Lee. Ming Huan Lee. Pamela Liu. Yifan Li. Chu Chuan Lin. Yu Xiao Lin. Chung Liu. Ning Liu. John Lopez. Lin Lu. Susan H. Maggio. Lisa Mahadio Anderson. Olufemi Jacob Malomo. Christina Manalese. Jesse McKinney. Helena Vasileva Medrano. Celine Claire Mie Teodoro. Daniel Bruce Minthorn. Brenda Bell Moore. Sahansha Mukherjee. Eric D. Murray. Aaron Mushrow. Donnell Princeton Nance, Jr. Andre B. Nelson. Kwang No. Sanaz Norbash. Johnson Sundaraj Periyanayagam. Leslie M. Petway. Jasmine C. Pollard. Nicole Marie Paulet. Liang Qian. Fong T. Quach. Claudia Ramos. Frank Rasulo. Suzanne Elizabeth Reese. Cindy Tomoyoso San Nicolas. Yu San. Kennethorn Santitam. Sergio Sapaj. Usmar Hassan Sheikh. Ranjita Sharma. Puchen Shen. Spal Koroshad. Carey Heather Smith. Sutlam Susanna So. Haiwan Linda Song. Amy Getz Stever. Jing Lee Sun. Wen Ting Song. Kamper Subakornikosai. Yu Chien Tang. Latasha N. Taylor. Paul Patrick Tedga. Mohammed Zahir Udin. Mfonobong Umana. David Unangst. Mayong Jing Wan. Min Chi Wang. Joseph H. Weiner. Katie Marie Weishar. Fei Wang. Paul Wilmot. Barrett Lindsay Winfrey. Cheng Mo Wu. Chung Tsi Wu. Jia Ying Wu. Anthony Wubena. Hui Yu Yang. Swan Chi Yu. A Chen Yong. Shun Zhang. Yanwan Zhang. Xinwu Zhou. Tianyu Chu. On behalf of the school and the university, I would like to congratulate the most recent group of Master of Science graduates. Will the graduates who will be awarded the degree of Bachelor of Science come forward to receive your diploma? Deborah Ann Bartucci. Lois Sparkman Brooks. Man K. Check. Vera Denise Edmonds. Brian A. Evans. Christina Gail Farias. Anna P. Gakowska. Su Yoon Ha. Sion Moses Harari. Amber Jean Harris. Megan E. Herbert. Jason C. Hertzberger. Amy Erin Johnson. Adam F. Keating. Douglas James Lemude. Robin Yvette Lincoln. Terry L. Mack. Ehsan Mahmoudiyeh. Wanda Lee Moss. Angel Knockoff. Stephanie S. Neal. Kyle C. Pesty. Felicia Polk. Vanutha Reddy. Larry C. Rogers, Jr. Karen Kapek Skoczynski. Nicole L. Watts. David Wertentile. Jeremy D. Winter. On behalf of the school and the university, I would like to congratulate the most recent group of Bachelor of Science graduates.
Congratulations again, graduates. Thank you, Dean Gupta, Dean Cranston, and Dean Kuza. Before concluding this ceremony, I would like to take the opportunity to welcome each member of the graduates to the 2011 alumni class of the Johns Hopkins Carey Business School. You are our most valued ambassadors. We need and we value your input, your opinions, your help, your participation with us. As we continue to grow and build this school, you will be contacted. This concludes the ceremony. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the staff, students, and faculty who gave assistance this evening. All guests are asked to remain at their seats until all faculty and graduates have left the auditorium and are then welcome to join the reception in the lobby. Will the graduates, faculty, and honored guests please rise?